Your 3 life options. You have 3 options in life, always, and only 3 options. 3 options are acceptance, avoidance, and changing. Can you change a scenario? Can you avoid the scenario? Can you accept the scenario? Those are your only 3 options. Anything else is just going to drive you to insanity or misery, one or the other.
So anything else outside of these 3 options is you living in cuckoo land once again, and just putting up with it and putting unnecessary strain and tension through your body. So you want to wonder what the hell I'm talking about, but we're going to give you 3 examples and all of this is going to unravel and become clear.
Because these 3 options we're going to go through, it's only these 3 options that are going to actually alleviate the tension and stress. Anything else is only going to create more. Our first scenario is actually a personal experience I went through, and this personal experience led me to the only option of acceptance. I worked outside and it was raining and it was quite cold. I couldn't change the scenario. I couldn't change it because I didn't have the power to stop the rain. I couldn't escape it because my boss wanted me to work outside in the rain. He didn't want me to come inside. I had to stay outside. So I was left with the final and only option, which is acceptance. So I chose to accept it. I accepted that it's raining and I accepted that I've still got to do the work. And what that does is you surrender, you alleviate the pressure and the stress, and the mind chatter will be saying, you should be inside. It should be sunny. These are scenarios that you can't change. So the only option left is acceptance, and that's going to alleviate the stress and give you a much better day.
A situation which could occur which gives you the 3 choices again could be you're out for a meal with your friends and maybe the conversation has shifted and it's quite low vibrational, and
they've all started drinking now. They've had one too many drinks now. They was all sober before, but now...
And you don't like drinking.
No.
So you're there now and the conversation and the topic isn't to your fancy. So you have your 3 choices. You either could accept the situation, but by this point you may have already tried to do that and you're still not feeling too flowy with it.
Louder.
They're getting louder and you're just feeling like, ugh. Or you could change. I don't see how you could change this, really, do you?
No, I don't see how you could change it. They're your friends, they're there, they're drinking. I don't think you're going to convince them to stop drinking, so...
So now you have the get out of there, escape, avoidance, evasion, whatever it is. And yeah, that seems to be the only option that you have in that situation. So you could just go about it in a nice way, just mention that you're off, you're going to go now because you've got some other things to do.
Yeah. You went there, you enjoyed your time with your friends, and you left before you started to not enjoy it. So you're staying in that positive position, aren't you, with your 3 options. You're left with your 3 options always, and that was the escape. You've escaped the scenario, you've stayed in a better place, which otherwise by staying there, you might have put yourself in a point of suffering.
So you find yourself in a situation where your diet's not actually serving you. It's making you feel sluggish, tired, and you're not performing to your maximum potential. What do you do with this situation?
Well, you can't really accept it because you've been eating this diet and it's causing these health defects and it's making you feel sluggish. So...
And you certainly can't run away from that.
And you can't run away from it because that food's going to keep on entering your mouth. It needs to keep you alive.
Yeah.
So you can't accept because it's a continuous process that's going to continue to happen. You can't escape it because it's this physical shell, unless you astral project, which isn't for this video.
Again.
And third of all, you're left with your final option yet again, which is to change. You change that diet.
See, people don't actually believe they can change it because they feel like this kind of types of food that they eat is just all that there is. They can't afford better food, whatever. Educate yourself on different food. There's options. You can change your diet in this situation.
So we've now gone through the 3 options and we've given examples of each scenario for the 3 options. So we're now going to describe what would happen if you don't choose any of these 3 options in your situation.
And they're all the same answer, to be honest. They're all suffering. It is all a form of suffering if you don't choose correctly. So, situation number 1.
I'm outside, I'm working in the rain. Like I briefly touched on, I could be there thinking, oh, I should be inside, I should be inside. That's what the guy next to me was doing. He was saying that the guy was a beep taker and that he's gonna beep off out of here because he doesn't deserve to be treated in such a way. And he was putting himself in a state of stress and suffering because he couldn't accept where he was. He was getting frustrated, agitated and angry, which wasn't benefiting him at all because he still was going to stay in that scenario for the same amount of time. So the only way to alleviate his suffering was to accept. But because he didn't choose that option, well, he suffered the consequences of that. And that was put himself in a lot of distress.
So, example number 2, you could stay in the environment with your friends who are now very drunk, and you could feel uncomfortable, and then you could start getting agitated with them and potentially have an argument, because you can't change that situation. The situation is manifested. They're drunk, you're not. You could potentially drink and get on the same level with them. I don't know how that would go, but you don't like drinking. You need to choose. Get out of there. Yeah, that's the only other option. So you could just put yourself through stress. You could put yourself through suffering and try your best to see the light in them, but that could prove difficult.
Yeah, it's a lot of unnecessary energy. The easiest way to go about it is to simply get out of the situation. You would exert a lot of energy trying to have a conversation with someone that can't understand what you're saying and you can't understand what they're saying. This is a lot of energy exertion which isn't needed. You need to keep your energy higher. Number 3, so diet. So you want to change your diet for a reason, because you're either physically not looking how you want or you're physically not feeling how you'd want to feel. So anything other than actually changing your diet and benefiting this is just keeping you in a point of suffering. It's keeping you in a point of dis-ease and it's keeping you in a state of unhappiness. So not actually changing it is just insanity.
There's no other option with this, to be honest with you, is there? I mean, you can carry on, get overweight further and put yourself at even more risk of health issues, or you can change it.
That's just going to keep you in a point of suffering. It's going to keep you unhappy. It's going to keep you in that state of dis-ease, and the only way to change it is by changing your diet. Anything else is just complete craziness that's going to cause you to suffer and cause you a lot of hardship that is unnecessary.
Yeah.
You 100% need to use these 3 options. They help us every single day because daily you're presented with these 3 options.
Yeah, that's the point. Try to remember in each situation to carry these 3 choices with you. Remember, what did DPS5 say? Because if you carry these 3 options with you, there's no situation that you can't actually escape from or present a better opportunity for yourself.
With these 3 options, you're going to alleviate so much suffering from your life. So use these tips, comment down below and let us know a scenario or if these tips helped you.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun hearing your scenarios. Like, subscribe, we look forward to hearing from you. That's us out.
Bye!